In ancient times, roasting grains over glowing coals was a culinary breakthrough that changed everything. It was a moment of inspiration that would ripple through human history, shaping the way we eat and live. Archaeological finds show this technique dates back to around 7000 BC, when early societies first began experimenting with fire and food. Roasting made grains like wheat, barley, and rice tastier and easier to digest. Suddenly, these humble seeds became a reliable source of nourishment, fueling the growth of civilizations. Civilizations from Egypt to China developed their own roasting methods, using clay ovens and open flames. Each culture added its own twist, refining the process over generations. This wasn't just tossing seeds on a fire, it was early food science. People observed, experimented, and learned how heat could transform their food. The goal was simple yet profound. Apply dry heat to transform tough raw grains into something edible and delicious. It was a process of trial and error, discovery and innovation. Roasting unlocked the grain's potential, turning it from inedible to the foundation of a meal. It was a leap forward in making food not just a necessity, but a pleasure. Before this, options were limited, mostly mushy porridge. Meals were bland, repetitive, and often hard to digest. Roasting brought out nutty, toasty flavors, adding complexity and making grains more versatile. Suddenly, grains could be enjoyed in new ways, with richer taste and texture. This simple act was the first step toward the breads, beers, and cereals we love today. It laid the groundwork for countless recipes and traditions. Picture our ancestors as the first food scientists, huddled around a fire experimenting with flavor. They shared discoveries, passed down knowledge, and built community through food. They pioneered the Maillard reaction, even if they didn't know the name. The browning and crackling of grains was a sign of something magical happening. Roasting was a game changer, setting the stage for thousands of years of culinary evolution. It sparked creativity and led to the diverse grain-based foods we enjoy today. It was pure genius, a foundational technique that made food better, safer, and more enjoyable. The impact of that first roasted grain is still felt in every kitchen around the world. And it all began with the brilliant idea of giving grains a hot air bath, a simple act that ignited a culinary revolution. How did ancient cooks roast grains without modern gadgets? Imagine a time before electricity, before timers and temperature dials. Just raw ingredients and resourcefulness. Their tools were simple but effective, crafted from what was available: wood, stone, and clay. A shallow clay dish or flat stone slab was the star, perfect for absorbing and radiating heat, turning basic materials into powerful cooking surfaces. Grains were toasted near, not in, the fire, using radiant heat from glowing coals. This gentle approach prevented burning and brought out rich, nutty flavors. Another method: tossing grains in a large clay pot over an open flame, constantly stirring to prevent burning and ensure even roasting. This manual convection oven required patience and skill, as cooks had to judge heat by feel and sight alone. More advanced setups included clay ovens or tanners, beehive-shaped structures that trapped heat for hours, allowing for more complex cooking. Grains roasted inside on trays or stuck to the hot walls, allowing for larger, more consistent batches and freeing up time for other tasks. These methods relied on basic heat transfer, conduction, convection, and radiation, long before those terms existed. Our ancestors didn't need physics equations. They learned by doing, passing down knowledge through generations. They knew a hot, flat stone worked better than a bumpy one, and that stirring was key to even cooking and flavor. These techniques are the ancestors of today's ovens and skillets, connecting us to a long tradition of culinary ingenuity. No plugs, no dials, just fire, clay, and a deep understanding of heat, honed through years of practice. Their hands-on approach laid the groundwork for modern cooking, blending creativity with necessity. The fundamentals haven't changed, just the tools. Today's kitchens owe everything to these early innovators who mastered the art of cooking with nothing but their hands and the elements. Why go to all this trouble? The main reason: preservation. For ancient people, keeping food safe for long periods was a matter of survival, not just convenience. Raw grains spoil quickly due to moisture and enzymes. Left untreated, they can become moldy, attract pests, or rot before they're ever eaten. Roasting dries them out, making them last for months, crucial for survival. This simple act could mean the difference between feast and famine during harsh seasons. It also makes grains easier to digest by breaking down tough proteins and starches. This means more energy and nutrition from every handful, Roasted grains are crunchier and more palatable, turning bland seeds into tasty snacks. Suddenly, food wasn't just fuel, it was enjoyable. This texture shift made grinding into flour much easier, leading to better breads and porridges. Roasted grains broke down faster, saving time and effort. Roasting also acted as an early form of sanitation, killing off harmful microbes. It was a natural way to make food safer, long before anyone understood germs. So roasting wasn't just about flavor, it was about safety and nutrition. It protected families from illness and made every meal more nourishing. It turned a perishable harvest into a reliable food source. Communities could store surplus and share with neighbors, building stronger bonds. The process made nutrients more accessible, boosting the value of every bite. Roasting unlocked hidden benefits within each grain. Roasting was a win for storage, health, and taste. It was a small step with a huge impact on daily life. It was a simple solution to big problems. With just fire and patience, people transformed their food and their future. Ancient cooks were practicing food science without knowing it. Their experiments laid the groundwork for generations to come. Their methods kept communities fed and healthy. Roasting was a tradition passed down, ensuring survival and well-being. Roasting was the secret to civilization's growth, quietly fueling progress from ancient villages to thriving cities. Now let's talk flavor, the real magic of roasting. Dry heat triggers the Maillard reaction, creating rich, complex tastes. It's the same process that gives bread its crust and coffee its depth. Roasting transformed grains from bland to craveable, unlocking nutty, toasty, and caramel notes. Wheat became sweet and aromatic, barley turned malty, and rice took on a popcorn-like aroma. This wasn't a minor upgrade, it was a flavor revolution. Roasted grains became more desirable, encouraging cultivation and innovation. Deliciousness made grains the backbone of agriculture and cuisine. Roasting opened up new culinary possibilities, better breads, richer porridges, and even beer. The malting process for beer starts with roasting barley. Without roasting, many iconic foods and drinks wouldn't exist. Flavor drove people to experiment and improve their cooking. Roasting made grains not just edible but irresistible. It was the spark for countless culinary traditions. The pursuit of better taste shaped the future of food. Roasting grains wasn't just a local trend, it was a global phenomenon. In Egypt, roasted wheat and barley became the base for bread and instant porridge. The Chinese parched rice for preservation and unique foods, even using it in teas and cakes. In the Americas, maize was roasted for pinole and popcorn, ancient snacks and travel foods. Nixtamalization for tortillas often included a toasting step. The Greeks and Romans roasted barley for maza, porridge, and brewing. Roasted grains fed armies and travelers across continents. Each culture adapted roasting to their local grains and needs. From the Nile to the Andes, the story was the same. Roasting unlocked new flavors and possibilities. It was a universal key to better food. Roasting connected people across time and geography. The technique spread and evolved, shaping diets everywhere. The world's cuisines owe much to this ancient innovation. How do we know all this? Archaeology gives us the clues. Carbonized grains, ancient cooking mishaps, are a goldmine for researchers. These charred remains show species and roasting methods under the microscope. Sites like Jericho reveal hearths, burnt grains, and grinding tools, painting a vivid picture of ancient kitchens. Clay pans, stone slabs, and oven fragments found in trash pits tell us about the tools used. Signs of heat and food residue confirm their purpose. It's ancient food forensics, piecing together daily life from burnt seeds and broken pots. Each artifact adds a word to the story of early cooking. We see the hearth, the pottery, the grinding stones, and the storage pits. Together, they reveal a culture of innovation and resourcefulness. The archaeological record is our silent witness to this quiet revolution. It shows how roasting shaped diets and societies. The evidence is everywhere, if you know where to look. Archaeology gives us artifacts, but ancient texts provide the story. Egyptian hieroglyphs and scrolls detail bread and beer production, starring roasted grains. Tomb paintings show the entire process, from harvest to baking. In Rome, writers like Cato described parching wheat for easier milling and better food. These texts are like ancient recipe cards, explaining the how and why. The Bible mentions roasted grain as everyday food and religious offering. Such references show how common and important roasting was. Written records reveal the cultural role of roasted grains in meals, rituals, and hospitality. When texts match archaeological finds, the connection is electric. We see not just the tools but the people and their actions. The written word brings ancient kitchens to life. It bridges the gap between artifact and experience. Roasting was woven into the fabric of daily life. Roasting grains didn't disappear, it evolved into modern cooking. Toasting nuts or spices in a skillet, that's ancient technique in action. The clay tanner became the brick oven, now prized by bakers and pizza makers. Modern ovens use the same principles: store heat, bake evenly. Industrial cereal roasters are just automated versions of ancient pan tossing. The goal remains: apply dry, moving heat for perfect toast. We've swapped manual labor for machines, but the method is the same. Coffee roasting is another direct descendant, transforming beans with controlled heat. Every cup of coffee is a taste of ancient innovation. The core technique is timeless, just refined. Ancient discoveries still shape our kitchens today. The legacy of roasting lives on in every loaf, bowl, and brew. We're still following the path our ancestors blazed. Roasting grain was a monumental leap in human history. It made food safer, tastier, and more nutritious, without textbooks or labs. This single innovation turned humble grains into the cornerstone of cuisine. It enabled bread, beer, and countless foods that define cultures. Every bite of toast or sip of beer echoes this ancient discovery. The tools have changed, but the core truth remains: dry heat transforms food. From ancient stones to modern pans, the thread is unbroken. We're still gathering around heat, making food better. Roasting is a reminder that the most important technologies meet our basic needs. It's a tradition passed down through generations, not just in books but in every meal. The ability to roast a grain helped build civilizations. It's a story worth toasting to. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some barley to roast.